Okay, guys. So hey, Wolf6 here. As you guys already know, but what's up, guys? If you like this commentary, if you like this commentary from the previous video, go check it out. It's admire. It's literally been posted almost a week now, and I'm finishing up the video this episode, and maybe split up into multiple episodes depending on the length, and you guys will just have to go check them out in different videos. But they're all gonna be uploaded tonight. So on to chapter 2. I reread the. Wait, did I. Oh, I don't even. Wait. Guys, did I. Did. Hmm. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I was right. I read the paper multiple times as I made my way to the truck. The more I read it, the happier I got. I couldn't get over the fact that someone liked me enough to write me a note to try and cheer me up. I had to put the note up to drive back home, but it wouldn't leave my mind the entire ride back. It felt like ages until I pulled into my driveway, slung my backpack over my shoulder, and grabbed my books. Clutching the piece of paper close to my chest, I rushed into the door, trying to enter quietly while I didn't mind my parents. I just wanted to spend time by myself right now. Brandon, sweetie, is that you? I cringed at my mother's voice. Yes, ma'am. Well, come here. I want to hear about your day. I didn't know why. She always asked about my day. She never got a different answer than fine, no matter what had happened. I trudged into the kitchen where my mom was cooking and my dad was reading the newspaper. The typicality of my family made me want to throw up. It looked like a scene straight out of the 60s. The only child coming back to their wealthy home while the obedient mother cooked for her work worn husband. The irony was killing me because of my family was anything but that. This kind of thing only happened once in a blue moon because they were only ever home once in a blue moon. They were executives for Exxon, the gas company, and their job required them to be in a bunch of different places, but they had to insist that I needed to stay in one spot. So instead of moving us as a family to a bunch of different places, they took month-long trips every other month. Sorry, guys, I was taking a drink. While I appreciated that they did to give what they did to give me a nice life, I couldn't help but dislike them for it. Sure, the option was moving every year or so wasn't appealing to me, but I also wish that I could have had a normal childhood. I felt like they had been missing for half of my life, and we weren't close at all. My dad looked up from his newspaper and smiled at me. Hello, son. How was school? When my mom heard him, she turned around. She looked at me for a moment before gasping. Brandon, honey, you're absolutely glowing, she cried. Excitedly, I tilted my head in confusion. Huh? Philip, don't you see it? He just looked happier. My father nodded. What happened in today at school, hon? Wait. Oh, what happened today at school, hon? Wow. I shrugged, deciding to lie instead of be honest. Nothing much to be. Nothing much. I don't know what you mean. It wasn't that I didn't want them to know. It was that if I told them, I would feel as if the note wasn't so much mine anymore. I didn't want to share it with anyone. My mother squinted, processing my response. Well, if you don't want to tell us, I guess that's all right. I bet it's a girl. It's a girl, isn't it? She squealed in delight. I laughed. I didn't even know the gender of the person who sent me the note. I'm not so sure about that, Mom. Can I go upstairs now? I've got homework. She nodded and I bolted for the stairs, climbing the 2 flights to get to my loft room. Depends on wherever you are, whatever you call it. It's up to you, I guess. When I was finally in the safety of my room, I pulled the note out of my pocket and studied it again. Just reading it made me feel warm inside. Never wanted to put this thing down. When I woke up the next day, I started my plan to talk to the note giver. I wanted to be able to meet him, or at least know his name, but in order to do that, I had to communicate with him. I pulled a piece of paper out of my backpack, started thinking about what to write. After about 10 copies that I didn't like, I decided I was just overthinking it. And I just wrote whatever came to mind. It turned out like this. Hey there, you're so sweet. Thank you for saying that about me. And to be honest, I did need cheering up. Thank you for caring. And I sure hope that I've noticed you. I sure hope that I've noticed you before. You sound positively wonderful. Be a shame if I've been ignoring you. Why don't you come talk to me? I'd love to meet you. Heart emoji. Well, it's not really emoji. It's just him drawing it. Brandon. Derp. Now all that I had to do was try to get it to him. That was the hardest part, and I thought all the way to school about what I could do to get my note to him. I decided that the best course of action was to put it in my own locker with a small flap sticking out. I'd make it so that it was hard to notice if you weren't looking for it, but easy to get to if you were. Who knows, he might come back to leave me another note today. That would be fantastic. I pulled to the back of the school where the gym was and made my way to the locker room. I dropped off my workout clothes and slid the piece of paper through the slits in the locker so that it could still be grabbed if it was noticed. Now all I could do was hope. I waited anxiously as class after class passed. Sure enough, when I went to get my workout clothes after school from my locker, the piece of paper was missing. I practically skipped out of the locker room, anxious to see if he responded by the time I got back. The end of practice couldn't come fast enough. I bolted to my locker and opened it as quickly as I could. I smiled as another white piece of paper floated down when I opened the door. See, and smiley face. I'm glad you liked it, and I don't think I want to talk to you in person, so I'm too scared that I'll do something dumb. You guys can't see the faces I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. But, excited kitty. I guess that's what that emoji is. I don't know. I honestly was just scared. He'd be scared away, so I'm relieved. I might not be able to keep coming back here, though. I think some of my bullies might have discovered what I'm coming here. It'd be a super easy place to get cornered. Also, I'm almost positive you haven't paid me any heed before. I don't think I've ever spoken a word to you, besides these notes. It's hard not to notice you, though. Has anyone ever told you that you look fudging incredible when you wear beanies? Because you do, especially when you wear headphones around your neck, too. From me. I smiled and blushed, squealing in happiness. This person was really getting to me. Whoever it was, though, I wasn't okay with the fact that this might get them bullied. While I wanted to keep talking to them, I didn't want them to get hurt. I just wished I knew who they were so I could protect them. I pulled a piece of paper out of my backpack and scribbled a quick note. I really don't want you to get hurt over me. How about you just give me your number so we can still talk? Also tell me who the bullies are, and I'll mess them up for you, if you'd like. Heart, Brandon. I wasn't sure if he'd actually want to give me his number. He has been pretty keen on remaining anonymous, but it was worth a try. Anyways, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. I just need to take a break real quick and freaking fix my vocal crap going on. See you guys in a second. Anyways, guys, I'm back. I fixed my little English problem. I wetted my throat down, went to the bathroom and everything, and I'm back. And anyways, I hope you guys prefer that I'm sitting here reading the book and you guys can see that I'm actually reading right from the book. It's not from the top of my head or anything. It's actually a book on Wattpad. Or if you guys want to see me read the other way as that I was before, tell me. Comment. Please. Go contact me on my own Wattpad. Waffle604 is what it is. Thanks, guys. See you guys. So, yeah. Let's continue on with Chapter 3. Brandon's point of view. I stuffed a piece of paper into my locker in the same manner that I did the last time. Now all I had to do was wait for tomorrow, which was harder than it sounded. I had been so anxious for a night to pass in my life. I had never been so excited to go to school before. My parents didn't notice how excited I was, or if they did, they left me alone. They probably had the mentality that I tell them when I wanted to. When really, I never wanted to tell them about this. I wanted it to remain mine forever. Sleep didn't come easily. How could I sleep when I was this excited? I felt like a child trying to sleep on Christmas Eve. It just didn't work, even though you knew that if you fell asleep, everything would go by so much faster, but the thoughts of my admirer kept me up well into the night. As much as I wanted to sleep to consume me, when I finally did fall asleep, it wasn't a peaceful sleep. You know when you wake up and you have a moment of panic because you know that you woke up late? Well, that was what I woke up to. And let me tell you, I wasn't wrong. I groaned when I saw the time on my phone. I had slept in a whole 45 minutes. There was no way I was getting to school on time. I ran to my bathroom, pulled on my skinny jeans and a hoodie. My face was a disaster. The rings under my eyes were so dark that they made me look like a raccoon. My hair poked in every direction. Actually, that was perfect. I opened my cabinet and I pulled out a green beanie that I hadn't worn in a while. I fitted it over my mop of unruly hair, smiling at the thought of my admirers seeing the beanie that I wore for them. My happy moment was quickly ruined by the realization that if I didn't leave that second, I'd be late. I ran out of the bathroom and grabbed my backpack before bolting down the stairs, hopping in the car and starting the drive to school. Despite my best efforts, I still couldn't make it to school on time. The bell rang as I hopped out of my truck, causing me to curse softly under my breath. I raced to my locker, grabbed my books out of it. Didn't have time to check my gym locker to see if my admirer had responded. I knew I'd just have to look after school was over. My first class was AP Calculus, with the most strict teacher in the entire school. I winced as I knocked, watching her face slowly turn to the door. The look of anger plastered on her face scared me. "Hello, Miss Kirk," I mumbled as she opened the door. She grabbed the back of my hoodie as I tried to move to my seat. "Excuse me, sir, but don't expect that just because you're the hot shot quarterback, I'm letting you off that easily." She huffed, pulling me back to the front of the class. A blush was quickly appearing on my face. Most of the teachers thought I was just as stuck up as the other popular kids. I hated that. I really did get embarrassed quite easily. Displays like this were the worst. "So, Braden, that made you late. What made you late today?" I felt like. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I slept through my alarm and that made me late. "I'm sorry." I lowered my shoulders and hung my head, completely mortified that this was happening to me. She scoffed. "And why were you up so late? Goofing off, playing video games, perhaps?" "No, no, no," I said quickly before becoming embarrassed again. "It wasn't anything like that at all." Someone from the back of the class yelled, "Brandon likes someone. Did a girl keep you up, little Petey?" I felt my face get hotter as the entire class started to chant, "Brandon's got a girlfriend. Brandon's got a girlfriend." I felt like I was locked in a room with 7-year-olds. I scanned the room. Almost everyone was laughing their butts off. I glanced over at one boy in the middle of the class. Was his name Vic? I think it was. He shot me an apologetic smile as I looked at him. That instilled me with enough confidence to do something other than shrink back into the wall and hide. "No," I said shakily. I figured I'd tell half of the truth since I couldn't come up with a good lie under pressure. I was worried about a friend of mine. They told me something that worried me yesterday, and it was keeping me up. I looked up at the boy I thought was named Vic, who was the only person I felt confident enough to look at. He gave me a barely noticeable thumbs up, indicating that it was believable. I wanted to cry from relief. "I don't believe it," Miss Kirkhoff. My newfound energy was quickly siphoned out of me. Teachers had a good way of doing that. By the end of the front of the class, I had detention that day. Walked to my seat in shame. After a few minutes, Miss Kirk left to go to the bathroom. Sat next to Vic, so I held out my hand for him to shake. "Thanks for the help, man. I think I might have died without you. Teachers love embarrassing me." "No problem, mate." Wait, let me try and get this right. "No problem, mate." His accent shocked me. How did I manage to notice that this guy was British before? He smiled nervously as he took my hand. "Is your friend okay, if you don't mind me asking?" I hope I'm doing this accent right, because I feel like I'm doing more of an Irish than I am English, and it just, yeah. I shrugged, letting go of his hand. "I don't know. They said they were getting bullied. I'm worried. I wish I knew who it was so, bleh, bleh, bleh. I wish I knew who it was that was doing that to them so I could help." I frowned. Why was I so attached to this person anyways? But even though I couldn't explain it, the care for them was still there. I didn't want them to get hurt. Vic's eyebrows furrowed. The small boy clearly deemed not. "You know Brandon? You know Brandon. I'm sure he's got a good reason. If he doesn't tell you who they are, you have a reputation to keep up, after all. Just let him tell you if he wants to know. If he doesn't, I'm sure he'll tell you if it gets too bad." I shook my head. "I don't care about my reputation. They're a lot more important to me than my friends. But you're right. I'm sure they'll tell me if it ever gets too bad. I hope they do. I don't want them to get seriously hurt." Vic opened his mouth to answer when Miss Kirk appeared at the door. He immediately shut his mouth and faced forward. Maybe this is why I'd never realized he was in this class, and why I'd never registered that he was British. After incredibly long hours of lectures and of double maths, and writing 300 sentences for detention, I was finally allowed to go home. But first I made a quick stop at my locker. A little note was shoved hastily between the slits, torn slightly on one edge, but it was very clear that was written on the page. Their number. They also said they didn't want to tell me who their bullies were. While I was disappointed, I respected their decision since telling me would keep them from staying anonymous. I plugged it into my phone. Saving it as "in my ear heart." I texted immediately. "Hey, this is Brandon." Smiley face. Smiley, excited face. I don't know. I texted wondering if they had noticed that I wore the beanie for them. I'd almost forgotten that it each about it myself until I texted them. It had been a long day. The response came back relatively quickly, but it didn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. I hoped to say, like I had hoped. "They found me. I'm sorry you said you said you didn't want me to get hurt, and I really didn't mean to. Sad face. I felt a pit in my stomach, making me sick. I wanted to murder whoever had hurt them. How bad is it? Oh, it's not bad. Just a couple of scrapes. Nothing too serious. I breathed out a sigh of relief at those. I breathed a sigh of relief at their words. I swear if they ever hurt you seriously, I want you to tell me so I can beat them senseless. Bullying is not cool. Sidon quickly tapped out another message, deciding the subject needed to change. Well, let's talk a little bit more. Can I at least know your name? I know nothing about you. Not sure if I want to. I don't want to scare you off. I pouted at the message. Was it really that bad to just tell me their name? Please? All you really know is that I'm some random dude to your school. I'm really not that important. I cackled out loud. So you're a guy. Dot dot dot. Crap. It's okay if you don't want to talk to me anymore. I understand. I chucked himself. Not at all. No shame. I'm sure you're cute, whoever you are. Wink. Wink. He sent me an email of a person blushing. Thanks. No problem, cutie. I was hard to believe. I could hardly believe myself. Was I really casually flirting with a guy I hadn't even met? He seemed sweet, whoever he was, and he had taken a beating just to talk to me. Maybe this could turn into something more eventually. I read about okay. Anyways, guys, I think. How long is this? Okay, I think I'm going to stop this one, start up with chapter 4, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.